Hey everybody, and welcome to the beginning of my Fingerbox tutorial. So for the next few weeks, perhaps the rest of the semester, we're going to be working on designing a box that is held together with finger joints and then modifying that box into a number of different iterations until it's something that you are happy with. This box can then be fooled around with, played with continually until you've perfected it, and can serve as a very simple and very easy gift to make for friends and family. After we make them, we can engrave whatever we want on them using the Glowforge, the laser cutters that we have. So, if you would like to begin, excuse me, I'm sorry, we are going to start by making some parameters. So, if you guys follow along, you will see when you click on Modify, down here you've got Change Parameters. Click on the little three dots, click the Pin to Toolbar, and that will make it a lot easier to grab the parameters. Now, the parameters, we only have to set up once. Once we've set our parameters, we can play around with them to be whatever we want, to modify our box as we see fit. So, to do that, first, we're going to hit the plus button. Let's identify the dimensions of the box. So the box length in inches is going to be 5. Width of the box, first box is going to be 5 by 5 by 5, so there's the width. And then the height of our box is also going to be 5. Boom. Okay, that's done. Next up, the thickness of the material that we are working with is going to be 1/4 inch. So what's 1/4 inch? 0.25 inches. There we go. All right, the finger width, we're going to say finger W. The finger width is going to be 3 times the thickness. So we're going to do thickness times, it's a little asterisk times 3. So 1/4 inch is the thickness. Thickness times 3 is 0.75, or 3/4 inch. Okay. Next up, finger spacing. Finger SP for finger spacing. And the finger spacing is going to be 2 times the finger width. Finger W times 2. There we go, $1.50. All right, cool. We got those down. Now the fun part. We're going to input the parameters for the kind of automatic finger joint placements. So once you create your finger joints, you know, maybe they're all squished to one side or squished to the other side or not evenly distributed. So this formula that we're going to input here makes sure that on every side they are perfectly equidistant and spaced to be good looking. So for example, here is a simple finger joint box that I made where I hold like all materials for like my side hustle, the stuff that I make for my store. You can see how they fit together, how attractive that is, those nice neat corners, see how they're all evenly spaced. That's what these parameters we're inputting now are going to achieve without us having to think too much about it, which is really convenient. Alright, so to do that, we're going to hit the plus. This is going to be the L finger parameter, L fingers. And this one, bear with me, it's quite a bit of typing, so it's going to be the floor function, parentheses, the ceiling function, double parentheses, the length minus the thickness, times 2, and 1 parentheses, and that's divided by the finger width, and parentheses, and then divided by 2 and parentheses. Okay. Make sure, now this is really important, you put no units here. If you put units in inches there, it's going to make it not work. So put no units. Trust me, I've done this. So right there it says 0. There's no units for under unit there. Make sure you're doing that. All right, now we want the width fingers. No units. And for this one, we want the floor. It's basically, you know what? Let's make this easy for ourselves. We are essentially copying and pasting this 3 times. So let's now do this. No units. Paste that. The name for this is going to be W fingers. Except we need to change, instead of length, obviously, we want to have it be width. Sorry. David. Sorry, guys. This is David. He's my mascot. He is insistent to being on my shoulder whenever I'm doing stuff at the computer, so he also likes having his butt pat like a baby. So this is David, and he's purring very loud right now. This is his favorite thing. Okay, so we want, instead of length, we want width. There we go, and our second function down. All right. Now the next function is going to be our height, and that one's a little different. So you can copy and paste like before. Oh my God, David, you are such a punk. This one, it's not ×2, it's just height minus thickness. Alright. H-E-I-G. Did I spell that wrong? H-E-I-G-H-T? No, that's right. So what's going on here? Floor ceiling, H-E-I-G-H-T. Am I dumb? What am I doing wrong here? Alright, let's try inputting. Oh, no, it's not going to be that. Let's try. Oh my God, David! You are all up in my business. Alright, let's try inputting this manually. That didn't work. So we're going to do floor function, ceiling function, double parentheses, height, H-I-G-H-T. Maybe I did spell it wrong. Ugh, I don't know. Maybe I'm dyslexic. Thickness, and parentheses, and then divided by finger W, and parentheses, divided by 2, and parentheses. Boom. Okay, it worked that time. All right. Looks good. We got all that in. All right, so all of our parameters are done. This is really convenient. I'll show you in a little bit why it's so convenient. Okay, there we go. And now to get to sketching. So here's what we're doing. We are going to start with the bottom panel. So we're going to start with a sketch. We're going to select that plane. We're going to make a rectangle. So rectangle, the width is going to be 5. There's the width. Tab to get it to height. No, not height, length. Alright, and now we have our box. If we click on that, we're going to hit E to extrude it. We want to extrude it to be as thick as the material that we are working with. So, 1/4 inch thick. There it is. We have our bottom panel. So, let's, there we go. There's the bottom panel right there. Okay, so first things first, let's do some housekeeping. Make sure we're properly labeling the things that we're making here. So, this is the bottom panel. The sketch is the bottom panel sketch. Okay, now with that done, the next thing we need to do is make a new sketch, this one on the face, boom, of our old sketch. Okay, alright, so now we're selecting that. There's the sketch. We are going to create a rectangle to go right there. We're going to give it the distance of finger W. Boom. Okay, and that's the length of our or width of our fingers. All right, next up, we need to draw a line in the center. That little triangle means it's centered, so we're going to draw a construction line. It's not construction line until you highlight it and press X. Now it is a construction line. Next, we're going to make a second line off of this line. Center line going down the middle like that. Okay. This also hit X to make a construction line. Now those two lines that I just made, they don't perfectly intersect each other in the middle, so we need to hit the midpoint and select our two lines to get them to be perfectly centered like that. Alright, the next step is to constrain the rectangle that we made within this line that we've created here. So you're going to hit the coincident button, click on the left circle of that line, and then the left line of that rectangle, and now it is constrained within this line. Okay. We're going to hit D. We're going to drag out this line as well. This doesn't have to be defined, so you can leave that as is. All right. Finish sketch. Cool. So now what we've done is we've created the initial rectangle that is going to become the carving. So we want to rename this, or the finger, actually the joint in our finger joint. So sketch, this is going to be bottom panel, and this is the front. Bottom front fingers. Okay, cool. Boom, done. Now, we are going to select that rectangle, extrude it. If we extrude it, it goes out. We don't want it to go out, so we want to do minus thickness. We're going to cut away the amount by thickness. Boom, there it is. Okay, so that's one finger. We need to duplicate this. We don't have to do this one by one down the length of this face. That is tedious and unnecessary. So we're going to click down here on that recent feature right there. Now we're going to do a rectangular pattern. We're going to select the plane. Okay. We want spacing. Make sure this is set to spacing distribution. The distance is going to be finger spacing. And the quantity is going to be L fingers. Okay, and let's see. Boom. Okay. And what we have when we do that, hopefully, right? Is that done correctly? Edit no, it's not done yet. Okay, so yes, boom, that's done. Okay, so now if we want these, if you look, this side is not equidistant to that side, so we haven't achieved it yet. This is going to be a weird looking box if we just keep going from here. So what we have to do now is we have to change some of the model parameters, bottom front fingers. We want to change this number to something else, right? So here we go. Bear with me. It's going to be parentheses, sorry, not backslash. L fingers times 2, right? And then end parentheses -1, end parentheses times finger W. There we go. All right, now when I click this, boom, look at that. We have perfectly spaced, equidistant fingers and joints that have been cut on this face. All right, so there's our first face. Great job. Now we need to replicate that on this face over here. So we're going to call this, make a new sketch. We're going to call this the right, oh, that's obnoxious. Now I'm going to have to do this. Okay, there we go. Right? That's this? Okay. Now we need to do the same thing that we just did on the previous face on this face. So this is going to be bottom right fingers. Okay, there we go. Now, just to do what we did before, we're going to create a rectangle. This is good practice. There's our rectangle. We are going to hit the D button to bring that out, and that is going to be, what did we say, finger W. Boom, 0.75. We need to now create a line down the center of this. All right, we also need to create a line down the middle of that. Okay, both of these need to be turned into construction lines, so highlight them and press X to make them construction lines. Now they need to be centered on each other, so hit the midpoint, click one, click the other, they line up in the middle. Now we want to select the coincident, the left-hand dot of the center line with the left hand of our line of our rectangle. We want to drag this line out, but remember, we don't need to define it or anything, so it can just stay like that. Okay, here we go. Now, second verse, same as the first. We want to do cancel, sketch is finished. Highlight that box, hit E, negative thickness to carve into the material. There we go. All right, now select that feature down there, the extrude function. We are going to now, what was it? Yes, rectangular pattern. Select the plane we want it to go. Spacing, make sure you set it to spacing. The quantity is going to be L fingers. Right. And the distance is going to be finger spacing. Okay. Okay. Now if you look, the same thing happened here. They are not equidistant. That length is longer than this. So once again, in order to make it all kosher and good, we need to do what we did before. And just like before, these are going to be the same, I believe, same function there. All right, let's see if that did it. Yep, that looks pretty good to me. Equal on each side, right? Rotate and give it a little closer look. Yep, looks good to me. Okay, now for the fun part. Now that we've got these two sides done of our face, we are going to make a new panel. So to do that, we're going to highlight bottom right fingers. We're going to do create sketch. Okay, that looks good. And we're going to create not a rectangle, but a 3-point rectangle. Okay, so you're going to click at the center, click at the end, go up to the height, which is 5, boom, boom. Alright, and this is where it gets a little interesting. Alrighty, we want to extrude it, right? We're going to extrude it into our object here. So to do this, it wants to extrude out that way. We don't want that. We want to extrude minus thickness. Alrighty, but if you look, okay, what did it do? There we go. We don't want to cut away all that material. We want them to intersect. So you got to change, if I do cut, it removes that material. We don't want that. So change the operation to new body, and it should work. Now if we hit OK, boom. But there's a problem. That line means that it's not really done yet. So here's how you fix that. We need to merge these objects. So we're going to click here. We're going to click on that. We're going to click on that. We're going to do keep tools. And we are going to do cut, I believe. Let's try that, see if that does it. Yep, and there you have it. That line is gone. And they are truly jointed. Okay, awesome. So that's the first step. You've made your first wall. Now we have to do it on this side. And once you've done it on these two sides, it's actually fairly simple to replicate it on the other two without having to cut any fingers in them. Okay, but here is something cool first. The reason why this is so neat, if we go back, right, well, no, we won't do that. We'll just go modify parameters. So the width is 5 inches, yes? Well, if we take this now and we change it to 10, look at that. Well, I guess we'd have to modify that as well, wouldn't we? Let's take a look here. Okay, this is going to be fingers 2 times finger width. I guess I'd have to play around with that, wouldn't I? It should have changed it automatically. We'll figure that out at some other point. That's fine. We'll just make this back down to 5. Okay. But we'll troubleshoot that later. It should have automatically created that, but we're making a 5-fingered box for now, so that's all we need to do. Okay. Right, so just like last time, we need to create a face. So a new sketch, and this is going to be along bottom front fingers. Okay. And again, we are going to create rectangle, 3-point rectangle. Boom to boom. Well, actually, we're not there yet. We can't do this yet. Here's why. If we do this now, we won't have fingers cut into this face right there. So we have to actually pause this. We can delete this sketch because we don't need it. We do need to change this to be the right panel. Boom. Okay. We need to create the fingers and joints on this face right here. So we're going to go to new sketch. We're going to select that face. Yes, we can do this. Okay. We are going to create a rectangle. Just like before. It's the same exact thing as what we were doing before, right? Hit D, drag that out. We want to make that finger width. Boom, boom, 0.75 should be the case. Okay. Now we need to make some lines. Where's the center? There's the center. Why is that the center? This should be the center. Hold on. Maybe that is. Okay, yeah, that is the center. Alright, okay, so let's do this and that. Okay, and then we want to do this down the center. Okay, we want to make these both construction lines, just like what we were doing before. Okay, we want to line them up in the middle. Boom. Okay, looks good. Those are all lined up. Now we want to do the coincident. Boom. Boom. That's now constrained. Okay, let's drag this line out. Doesn't need to be identified yet, so that's good. Okay, so now we are done with that sketch. We want to label this the right panel fingers. Okay. Looks good. Now, since this is done, we want to do what we were doing before. We want to extrude this into the negative thickness. Okay, boom. Looks good. Alright, select that feature, copy it. We want to select the axis, which is that. Okay, and this quantity is going to be L fingers. Which fingers, actually, I think since we're going up. This is going to be finger spacing. Alright, now that that's done, we need to do what we did before, down here. We want to copy that. We want to do right panel fingers, change that to that. Okay, and look at that, all good. Alrighty. So, now, now we're ready for our sketch. Alright, this body, we want to rename that to right panel. Alrighty, let's make a new panel. Here we go. Create a sketch. We want it to be on this face right here. We want a new, nope, not a regular rectangle, a 3-point rectangle right there, and the height, boom. Okay, finish sketch. This sketch, extrude. Huh, that's curious. It should be on there. Oh well. Negative thickness. Let's see what happened. Ah, we cut it. Remember, you have to make a new body. Okay, there we go. Alright, now let's see. Nope, don't want to do that. Okay, looks good there. Oh, look at that mess there. That is some jank for sure. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to modify it. Remember, we need to merge these objects, so we're going to modify this to that. Cut. Did it work? Yep. And then we want to modify again this to that. Cut. Okay, now everything should be all well and done. Yep, looks clean. Looks good. Okay. And now the easy part, or relatively easy part, right? I think from here, yeah, we might have to make fingers on one more side to make this work. Right? Ah, no, we don't. We don't. We're good. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to do this and extrude it, but we're not going to do distance. It's going to be to an object. We're going to extrude it to the face of that. Whoops, nope, that's not what we wanted. Control Z. No, undo. Okay. All right, let's try this again. Extrude is going to be to an object. There it is. Okay, and that's the object. There we go. Okay. Offset, we want to offset by minus thickness, right? Let's see what happens. Cross your fingers, folks. What did I do? Let's try that one more time, huh? Okay. To an object, to right there. The distance is going to be, wait, that's minus thickness. Whoop, didn't mean to do that. We're close. Oh God, what did I do? Okay, let's figure this out. Alright, let's try this again. Alright. Extrude, thickness. Don't want to cut, we want to make a new body. Okay, that looks good. And now, if I recall, we have to clean this up. Okay, and then clean this up. Okay, and now, oh, so it was good. I was just being dumb. Okay, now we want to extrude this, profile, object, boom. Okay, and this time, no, that's not going to do it. Ah, minus thickness. Okay, we're so close. Minus thickness. Sorry guys, it's been a while. Oh, nope, that didn't do it either. Minus thick. Oh, okay, minus thickness. Times 2. We don't want to join. New body. Nope, what did I do? Alright. I'll get it, guys, I swear. Hold on. You know what? To save time, I'm going to pause the video so that I can get this under control, and then I'll restart it to show you what it is. Okay, just a second. Alright, I'm back. I was pretty close, guys. So it's just minus the... Nope, don't want to do that. Okay. I swear, I got this. Extrude it. Object. Click that face. Minus thickness. Right, and then we want to not join, but new body, and then boom, that looks good. We want to modify, and we want to merge that with that. Cut it. Modify again, merge that with that. Cut it. Oop. Nope, I don't think that was right. Control Z. Right, okay. Modify, merge that with that. Cut it. There we go. Okay. But it didn't make the fingers on the bottom, did it? Why did it do that? Well, let's go back. There we go. Ah, I know why. Modify this with that. Cut it. That's why. Okay, modify this with that. Cut it. There we go. Okay. And now for the coup de grace. The last face. Same as before. You're going to click on this. You're going to extrude it. Not from profile plane to object. Click on that. It's going to be minus thickness. Alright, we don't want to join it though. That will delete all the fingers. We want to create a new body. Okay, alright. Now, it's not done yet because this double line, this line going down here, tells me that this is not actually good. We have to merge it all together. So, the last step before we have our box is we are going to modify this to that. Cut it. Good. Modify the origin to the target. Cut it. And then last one, modify origin to target. Cut it. Alright, and you guys have your completed finger joint box. 5x5 finger joint box. We're not going to worry about a lid yet, but a lid is actually a lot easier than you think. It's just this process, but a lot shorter. And then you add hinges so that it can open and close, and that's it. But this is your box, and if it looks like this, it's good. Have me check before you're done, because the next step is to get this ready to send to the laser cutter so that you actually have a finished box. Alrighty, great job, guys. And if you are done, then you can move on to step 2 if there's time in the block. If not, then we will pick this back up tomorrow. Alrighty, great job.